revelations of incredible horrors that will terrify you with their brutal reality.
Hi.
Here we are. I just also want to say, not only do nothing about sports, I can't dance and I can't sing. I'm just saying.
I know. But
So,
we are
these
branching out
of my comfort zone.
Yes. So we did a sports one recently. Now we're going to do a musical. Now this is the reason we're doing this is it's
Mark wants to torture me. That's why.
Yes, I like to torture Kathy. But it's Steven Spielberg, who is, obviously one of the great directors of all
Maybe
time.
one of my favorite movies of all time, Jaws.
Yes, and he's made some amazing films, and but he's kind of doing these things that are a little bit off, our Cinemando path.
These
but
things that are just wrong. But
like,
see.
like West Side Story is obviously it's a musical and it was Robert Wise did a film in '61, which is considered a classic musical, and now Spielberg is doing a remake that's coming out fairly soon. Stars Ansel Elgort from Baby Driver, and Rita Moreno, who was one of the original Maria from way back when, and some other stars. So let's take a look at it. We can talk about what we don't know about musicals.
We've already prepared you, I think, for what we're going to do here.
Okay.
Tonight, the world is full of light. This is my first time in New York City. I want to be happy here. I want to make a life, a home.
Are you ready? Tonight is about family.
When is it? Oh, tonight.
Tonight.
The first gringo boy who smiles at you.
I never seen you before. You're not Puerto Rican.
Is that okay?
Do you want to start World War III?
I wake up to everything I know either getting sold or wrecked or being taken over by people that I don't like.
You keep away from him as long as you're in my house.
I'm a grown-up now, Bernardo. I'm gonna think for myself.
Tony, we need you if we're going to war. Who are you? Friend or foe?
If you go with him, no one will ever forgive you. Life matters even more than love.
Looks like a great movie for the holidays.
It looks, obviously, it's Spielberg, it's Stephen Sondheim, it's Tony. I mean, it's all A class the whole way, and actually looks really well done. Obviously, so
it does. And I know David Newman adapted the score, but John Williams consulted, and it really sounds like John Williams.
Yes,
I was hearing that going. It instantly feels like Spielberg when you hear John Williams.
Yeah, and that's a warm, sort of comfortable theater feeling. So
it really is.
it's a good trailer. It also set back in the 50s. I thought for some reason it was going to be sort of updated and be kind of a modern version, but that would make no sense.
That's the charm of it, though. I think that, and it's got that cool look, and it looks beautifully shot. The cinematography looks great.
Yeah,
I love the big overhead with the shadows. That was a great shot.
And New York in the 50s or 60s, it's going to have that romantic, the way New York was, and is not anymore. So all of that is very appealing.
It is.
And the cast looks Ansel Elgort is a really interesting actor. And I think it'd be interesting to see how he pulls off sort of the acting, the dancing and singing stuff.
Yeah. He's Baby Driver, right?
Yes, from Edgar Wright's Baby Driver.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
And I know that it looks good. and it's going to be, like I said, a holiday movie, and obviously the great promotion for it. I know there's a lot of different posters that are out there, and it'd be interesting to take a look at one or two of them.
Let's take a look at some posters because this is Spielberg, so there's a bunch of them, a bunch of different ones, and they all look really different. So the main one, they're just going, which is pretty ballsy because you don't usually see just a type poster, but I think they feel there's probably a lot of weight with just title alone. So it's like we got Spielberg and we got West Side Story. Of course, you think, well, why is the Spielberg's name huge? Well, credit blocks have to be a certain size. So if you're going to use Steven Spielberg's name, like it is in the credit block, it can't be bigger than everyone else's name. So that's why his name is in the same, font and everything else on this poster as the rest of the billing block, because that's just
sometimes
how they do it legally.
Sometimes they put a border around the names of the director.
Sometimes there's a border, and also, sometimes the names are bigger, but I don't know what the legalities are on this, but it's very intentional that they kept this billing block size for whatever reason. So there's that. And then, it has to be a certain size of the title. So you see the billing block looks huge because the title is huge. So then we have a series of, it's like pairings. This is by Gravelist. It's an agency in town. So they did these kind of nice, this one dancing scene with the two main characters, and then they have this another dancing scene. I think it's interesting. The flags is a little motif in the foreground, kind of showing the divide.
Right.
But I like it too. The idea that this is sort of a cream color and not pure white. Again, you'll notice that the billing block is still kind of the certain size in comparison to the title, and Spielberg's name again is pretty small on here.
Yep.
That's a billing block. Legality thing. And then we have a couple more posters by BLT, another agency, and this one looks more like Hot Moments, a little more gritty, a little more commercial, not as artful, but that's, I feel like this one probably sells it more because everyone knows the scenes of them, in the, with
the fire escape stuff is very much New York 50s, I think a Rear Window and stuff like that. So it kind of harkens back to that.
Exactly. And I only brought a couple posters from the series. There's like 4 character cells of everyone, all of these have different variations. You can look for them. This is another one, it looks like they're kind of leaning into the singing and dancing. You can see the women dancing back here. She looks like she's about to break into song. Right. It looks like it's probably a unit shot because it looks a little soft. Her hand's a teeny bit awkward, which is what happens when you're dealing with stock photography. Again, we have the billing block tied to the title, and Spielberg's name's almost barely readable. Right. But I think they're mostly just saying just West Side Story. Even though I think if I saw Spielberg's name on here bigger, I'd be more interested. That's just me, though.
Yeah, and I wish we like the original poster from the original film. I think it was more sort of like it was just West Side Story with a graphic. I think it was so it harkens back maybe to that old. Yeah, they had poster.
They had some little people dancing around in it.
Oh, okay, right.
It was red, but it was a big title treatment.
Right,
and it looked a lot like the original poster, like this black one, but it was red and it had little graphics of people dancing in it.
Gotcha.
I think that's one of the original posters, but so that's what we have for marketing for West Side Story. They're just going, for just probably the name value of the title alone. I think even if you haven't seen it, everyone's heard West Side Story. Absolutely. Is there anyone who hasn't heard that?
It is classic American musical that is, people, I think, I think I actually saw it, but it might have been, for school or something. It was one of those kind of things, So it's going to be a big event film, whether people go see. I mean, I think a certain crowd will go see it. Some people definitely will stay away because it's a musical, but
a lot of musical fans, and maybe Spielberg will get some people in there who are skeptical.
Yes.
I am probably not one of those people. I'm a really hard sell when it comes to musicals. It has to be really something special. I'm not really big on musicals, which I'm sorry.
No, it's kind of my thing too. Like I never have seen a musical at a theater. I mean, I just haven't. This is not my thing. But so what? It is Spielberg, and it looks really good. So for that crowd, it'll be a huge success.
Exactly.
And that's what matters. So
and it's movies aren't for everyone all the time. This is for a certain kind of market, and they're going for the theater fans and musical fans, and there's a lot, and it's Spielberg, and I'm sure it's gonna be really handsomely produced, and the music did sound really good. So
it did.
I think if you like this kind of a movie, you're probably gonna want to go to see it.
Absolutely, yes.
That's
And
my proclamation.
Yeah, and if it's really like gets incredible reviews, even maybe I'll take Kathy.
No, you will not. You will not.
All right.
But there it is. Marketing for West Side Story.
Yes, and
All right.
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us, that we are way off on West Side Story. We should see it because it's Spielberg. Blah blah.
Tell
blah.
us why you like the West Side Story musical, and then why you would want to see this one too.
And we'll tell you why you're wrong. No.
We won't. We'll be very. I want to know. I really do.
Just kidding.
All right, you guys.
Thanks. See you soon. Bye.
The Earth is invaded by indestructible moon monsters.